What is going on, guys? We are down here at Texas Truck Works, just north of Houston. Scott Stevens, off-road shop. He invited us over here to work on the trucks, give us a nice work bay in the back to do whatever we need to get the trucks ready for Miami. Colt Stevens is also here. He works here with his dad. We might talk to him a little bit, and it's just nice to be able to have a shop this week and not have to work out in a parking lot right now. So being under roof and having lights, it's pretty fancy and it's pretty enjoyable. So today I'm going to start getting shocks off the truck, get shocks rebuilt. I was having issues in my Freestyle Sunday, had a pretty decent run. The truck just wasn't landing 100%, kind of rang my bell a couple times, and I also put a small crack in the front housing just to say how hard it was landing and wasn't working properly. So we're going to do that. I'm going to rebuild all 4 front shocks today and maybe a little bit tomorrow, and maybe the next week do the rear 4 shocks. So, but the front ones are the more important ones, the more, you know, cushion your landing a little better, and the rear ones are just kind of along for the ride sometimes. So we're gonna get that underway and just have a good day. It's a nice, beautiful, sunny day here in southern Texas, and let's get to work, guys. Okay, so like I said, we had a crack in the front housing. So yesterday, I didn't film yesterday, I was just kind of having a lazy day, but we got the front housing repair. As you can see right here, we cut it apart, it cracked right through here. So we cut all this out to look down into the housing to make sure nothing was further damaged or cracked deeper into the housing, because there's all kinds of internal plating and spines and everything in this housing. So, and we go back and replate over it, weld it up, and she should be good to go now. This housing has been through a lot, and I'm gonna see if we can get a little more life out of it. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take the hood off the truck. It makes it a lot easier to get to the front shocks. I'm gonna take the hood off and then probably pull these off first and get them rebuilt, and then move on to the coil and get all 4 done today, then probably move on to the rear ones this evening. Usually when you get into a rhythm of doing shocks, get everything set up, everything you need to do, you can usually do a shock in about a half hour, 20 minutes to a half hour to make sure everything's done properly. So let's get to it, guys. Let's get the hood off and let's get to work. So the hood's off. That's going to make it a lot easier to get access to these front shocks and take them off. So now Daniel is working on taking the oil pan off. We have to replace the oil pump. We got a new oil pump coming, so it should give us much better oil pressure. So we got 2 projects going on today, oil pump and shocks. So gonna try to keep track of both for you. What we got here?
Hi.
This is where you've been hiding.
Huh?
Yeah. This is where you've been hiding.
Making a living.
What's that?
Making a living.
How you like it here?
It's not too bad.
I'm sure a lot of fans been wondering where you're at.
I don't know. I haven't heard from any of them.
What's happening? Darren's working down here for Scott here at Texas Truck Works, and seems to be enjoying it here.
Not too bad.
Still missing monsters?
Miss the monsters.
Yeah.
Road life, all my friends.
Yeah.
But
It gets addicting, doesn't it? No matter how much you want to get away from it sometimes, you just got to get back to it.
yep. Maybe someday.
Yeah. All right, dude, get back to work.
Later.
We just got the oil pump off, and now we're gonna get ready to put this new oil pump on. Right here's the old one. Just took that off. And right here is our brand new one. It's more high performance, a little more sucking power. And you can see a little bit of the difference here. So you just got to take this pickup right here and put it onto here. So not too much work, and just get the oil pan back on. So within another 45 minutes this project should be done, and then we'll move on to the shocks. So one thing at a time. Okay, so we just got the shock apart. Now we're looking at here, this is your shock can. This holds all the oil in here. This is your accumulator. On this side of the accumulator, there's a puck in here. Can't really see down in there, it's a little dark. There's a puck down in here. And we set the level of that puck. So on this side there will be oil, and on this side is where your pressure goes. We have the cap that goes on here. This is the cap. So this cap goes on here, and this is where we pressurize right through here and put our pressures in to whatever we need it. And it holds this puck in here. And that puck, when the shock compresses, it'll push the fluid in here and push that puck against all that pressure, and that's what gives you your nice, soft landing. This is your shock puck right here. Let's see if I can get a better shot here. Right here, these are shims, shock shims. As you can see, there's different size ones. Now, it all depends if you want to set your shocks to go big or small, air, how high you want to jump. That's what you do, those shock shims. You do different stages or different levels and different sizes of whatever stack or combination you want to do with them shock shims. So that's what gives us our nice soft landing. So now I'm going to take this tool right here. It's going to go down. I'm going to put it down in here and screw into that puck. And I go up or down with it to what I need. I do 9.5 inches from this point to the top of the puck. That's where I set my puck height in these. So that's what I'm getting ready to do now. So now what we're doing is we got the puck set and the accumulator cap back on. So now we're just going to fill the shock can with the proper amount of hydraulic oil, and also it'll trickle in. There's some, there we go. See them holes right there? Those allow the oil to exit the shock can and then start filling into the accumulator right here. So that's how the oil travels back and forth, is through those little holes. So we'll fill that up, it'll trickle in, it'll bubble up for a while, and then we want to stop the oil about 1/2 inch from the top of the can, and then we'll be ready to put our shock shaft back into the can. So let's get to it. Okay, so we just got the front shocks rebuilt. They're ready to go back on the truck. So these are ready to go. All good shape. All the shims were intact. Sometimes you take them shims and actually shove them through the puck. We actually think we're having that problem on the rear shocks, so we're going to get to them later. But now we're going to take these coils off. These are a little bit more of a pain to get off. They have a remote accumulator. We call them remote accumulators because they are separate from the shock and connected by this hose. So this one's actually already loose. This one's ready to come off. So those are going to come off, and it takes 2 people to get these shocks off. They're a little bit more of a pain in the butt. So we're going to get them off and get them rebuilt, and I will show you how these work. Okay, so I have the accumulator in the vise now. Now what I have to do with these remote accumulators, it's a little different since it's not connected to that, and you just tip everything the same way on the other shocks. These accumulators with the remote, there's a lot of extra fluid that lays in all this. So what I have to do, I had to take this, I had to drive that puck all the way up into the top of the accumulator. That way it would shove all the old fluid all the way through and out and drain every little bit out. Now when we fill this, when I start filling that can up, now as it fills, what we do is we start pulling out on this, so it sucks the oil into that accumulator, or otherwise you're just kind of have one large air bubble up in this accumulator. So as we fill it, we're going to pull on that to pull the new fluid into the accumulator to make sure that we have all new fluid and no air bubbles in this accumulator. So like I said, it's a little more of an animal to rebuild. It's a little more of a pain, a little awkward, but we're getting through it, and let's just keep working, guys.
I hear heavy D.
So it's the Brodozer.
How are y'all doing back here?
Oh, we're just working, having fun.
Checking out the shop, huh?
You just got back?
Yeah, just got back from Anaheim Mud Show down there. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, we had the mud show last weekend.
That's right. Yeah, Heavy D, Diesel Dave drove. Did a good job, actually. We're still sitting third in points, so can't complain.
That's better than we're doing. I think I'm in dead last in my points.
Really?
That's not a good year.
Obviously, y'all been killing it out there, man. I've been watching y'all social media, V2 vids, awesome stuff, man. Love watching that stuff.
Put a lot of work into it.
Looks good.
So we're just checking some bearings. Trying to get some better oil pressure. The bearings are looking pretty good. Get that new oil pumps on, so hopefully that'll do some better oil sucking for us.
Put some decent oil in this thing.
There you go.
I was gonna put gear oil in it when it wasn't holding any oil pressure. Like they're 90 weight in that thing.
I think this motor's just got decent clearances.
That's one thing I'll tell you, that diesel motor has really impressed me with the serviceability and stuff. Like motor-wise, the truck is
On the diesel?
Yeah, it's simple.
They're heavier duty.
Yeah, we change the oil in it. We run it hard. We don't have any issues. I mean, we just have normal,
Just the
figuring
lag.
out,
The lag's the only thing
figuring out
backing
gears.
down.
Right now is just figuring out gears.
Once it picks up, you got more pick rate. They pick up faster than these.
All right, we're done here for today. The shocks are hung, the accumulators are mounted. We had to make a new mount for the front accumulator, so that's done. I got changed and some clean clothes now, and we're gonna go eat supposedly some really good restaurant, and Scott Stevens is taking us, and Pablo Hallfager is gonna meet us there, and I don't know, maybe just talk about some old times. It's fun to sit back and listen to some old guys talk about some of the good times. So we're gonna go do that. And we'll pick up on this in the morning, so let's go eat, guys. Good morning. Welcome back to Texas Truck Works. We are going to get these rear shocks off today. Get those rebuilt, get those landing good. And this weekend you should land like a dream and be able to go out and put some bigger air under and not worry about having to ring my bell. So we're gonna get that done today. Still having a little bit of oil pressure problem. We got the new pump on there, but we don't think it's shimmed properly. So we're gonna pull the oil pan back off and shim it, make it a little tighter and make it pump harder, see if we can get that oil pressure up a little bit. This engine is just kind of on its last leg with how many times it can be rebuilt. I think it needs a new crank and stuff like that, so that's part of the problem. Other than that, we're gonna get that done and load up today and head down the road for Miami and be in Miami sometime tomorrow evening. So let's get to work. Okay, so the first shock on the rear is done. Got one rebuilt. But also want to explain to you guys what this is. Some of you may wonder when you see the spring on the bottom of the shock right here. This is what I'm talking about. This is our coil bump. Actually, this was invented by Cole Vernard, I think 5 or 6 years ago when he was crewing for Adam Anderson. He created this. And what this does, when the shock goes to bottom out, we got a rubber piece in there and finally hits this rubber piece. You can see down in there, that rubber piece, that's the final bump. But I find that this spring really helps when we actually hit the jump. Some people think it's just the landing that hurts sometimes, but actually when we hit the jump really hard, like we're only having so much shock shaft showing at ride height, so we're actually not fully extended on the shock. So when we hit a really steep jump at a high rate of speed, it bottoms the truck out real hard. So you have to remember that that actually hurts when we hit that jump. And then when you go real big, then you got it. So you get like a double whammy. You're waiting on the landing too. So that coil bump actually takes some of that hard hit out of the hitting the jump, and that really helps. So thanks Cole for creating that. It really helps, and it's I put them on last year, and I can really tell a difference when I do hit jumps with a high rate of speed. So just want to explain to you guys what that was, and now I'm going to work on the coils next. So the rear shocks are rebuilt and back on the truck. Kind of had a little bit of a moment with that because this accumulator over here, right here, this fitting broke. I was actually taking the shock off of the truck and it slipped out of my hands because it's a little oily or greasy. Slipped out of my hands and the accumulator hit the ground and it broke that fitting. So the accumulator broke off and sprayed oil everywhere, but got that back together. So that took a little bit. Had to run to town and get that fitting because I guess we don't have that fitting with us. And now I'm just putting all the shock guards on, or the shock cap guards on, and things like that, and buttoning it up. Then we're gonna get trucks finished up and then pull them out and wash them off and get them in the trailer and head on down the road. So just gonna thrash for the next couple hours and get this done, and I'll try to video as much as I can. Well, that's going to do it here at Texas Truck Works. Thank you, Scott and Colt, for having us here and letting us use the shop and make a mess of your bay and letting us use everything we need to get the trucks ready. It really was a big help, so thank you. guys, if you're watching this and you're in the area of Houston, check out Texas Truck Works. They do amazing work on all kinds of custom things on trucks. Anything, side by sides, they do pretty much anything here. So check those guys out. I appreciate them a lot. And we're gonna head down the road to Miami. We're pretty much about 24-hour drive to there. So we're gonna hit the road and try to get there by tomorrow evening. So I will catch you in the next video, and please share, like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will catch you in the next video, guys. Peace.